Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We talk at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same. So listener discretion is advised. Now, let's walk the path of night. Last time on Path of Night, Reese explained that the chantry is built on a node which has been infiltrated by a shard of the Eldest, empowering the Zantosa. Unsure if Vito can even be killed, the coterie ultimately decided that they needed to try regardless. Ira promised to watch over Eden and enchanted the coterie's equipment for the upcoming fight. They find that infestation has grown as they creep down the halls. Britta had a final discussion with Perrin before offering him a merciful end. The coterie arrived to find Vito waiting. All right, why don't we start with Miles? What is your initiative score?
21, I'm taking 2 celerity actions.
Understood. Wynn?
18.
Johnny, what is your initiative?
I'm going to spend 2 blood for celerity actions and go on a 19.
Ira, what is your initiative?
Spending my 9 points of readiness, I am going on a 27.
Gross.
Britta, what is your initiative?
Weirdly the same as Johnny. I'm spending 2 blood for 2 actions of celerity and add a 19.
Vito is going to be going on a 13. The mass of roiling flesh that is accompanying him is going on a 26. The creatures that are all clumped together in a gray mass of tick-like things is going on a 0. They act on the end of the round. So, with that, Ira, we begin with you.
Jesus. Ira will spend blood for dual thought, so he can do 2 things at once. And the first thing he does is light up in a pillar of electricity again. Not because it was crazy effective, but because flesh is everywhere. The more shit that is surrounding me that will burn away the things that try and touch me, the better. Before he does, he looks at Eden real fast and just goes, Be careful. Shield your eyes. Don't look right at me. And then is a pillar of electricity. And then with a second action, will pull the paper with the true name in out of his pocket and in one smooth motion slice it across, like in the webbing between his fingers, to give himself like a nasty paper cut, enough to draw a little bit of blood. And then with the electricity, burn it away as he looks at Vito. I hope this fucking works. And burns the paper to ash with Vito's hopefully true name on it.
After you go, the mass of spongy, strange, orangey flesh acts. And these kind of intestine-like organs start to grip Vito, more and more and more of them. And as that happens, bone, muscle, a lot of it starts to kind of rapidly generate. And over the course of mere moments, he becomes part of this monster that dwarfs even the weeping bear from your memories. And it bristles with organs and appendages, starting with fingers, but quickly devolving into bone spurs and sex organs when his attention focuses towards Britta. And with a hand outstretched towards her, it starts to speak. Its words are heard out loud, but also echo in your minds. I have such gifts for you. You need but accept. And Britta will become subject to a psychic assault. Psychic assault is nothing less than a direct mind-to-mind attack which uses the sheer force of an elder's will to overpower his target. Victims of psychic assault show little outward sign of the attack, save for the nosebleeds and expressions of intense agony. All injuries by means of this psychic pressure inflicted are internal. A medical examination of a mortal victim of a psychic assault invariably shows the cause of death to be a heart attack or aneurysm, while vampires killed with this power, because it is a lethal power when used on vampires, decay to dust instantly regardless of age. Ready? Britta, I need a willpower roll from you.
That is total willpower, not remaining?
Right.
10s do not explode, correct?
Correct.
2 successes.
They have 6 successes. Britta, it has 4 successes more than your total, which means the target loses all temporary willpower points and half of their permanent willpower points rounded down, and they suffer 3 health levels of lethal damage, which may be soaked normally.
1 success.
You will suffer 2 levels of lethal damage. You do not suffer any actual damage to your health levels, so there's no need for a frenzy check, but Britta's not feeling great. You are stricken with absolute agony and reduced to a state of despair. Blood flows freely from your nose.
From my nose, alright.
And then it is your turn. What do you do?
In this state of terror, am I able to act, even with the will drained out of me?
Yes, you are.
Alright. In that case, have any of the ticks dropped yet?
They have not. They will be acting at the end of the round.
End of the round, thank you. Out of pure reactive fear mixed with the half-thought to provoke Vito, to try to fool him into getting close enough range for her to do as she's planned, she's going to try to shoot him.
Go for it.
Her usual habit of shooting to make herself as small as possible to lessen that target, but there's something shrinking in it now with all of the horror that she's feeling. 6 successes?
With 6 successes, 5 successes will carry over into damage.
8 successes?
Really hope that fucking paper flash worked. I guess it did not.
8 successes.
Fuck.
Bro, what the hell?
Also on 19, Johnny.
What was Miles' initiative?
21.
Oh, Miles, I'm sorry, go.
I'm going to unload my entire rifle into the tick swarm above us
Sounds awesome.
after moving to take an angled approach so it does not rain acid on me. So +2 difficulty, 10 extra dice. Get to spread it around, though.
You should put in 1 on each.
Yeah, so I've got 6 successes.
Give me a single damage roll.
Sounds
we'll
good.
apply it to all 6.
4.
That is sufficient to destroy 6 of them. I'll have you roll it right now. Roll me a d10.
7.
1 of them will drop down to join combat against you this round.
Did they drop at the end of the round? Or
Yep.
now?
End of round.
But Tim got ahead of them.
No pressure, fellas.
That is the end of my turn.
We are now on Johnny.
So, the transformed Vito and the sentient mass of flesh that has assaulted Britta are down in the ritual chamber beneath us.
Yes, I do want to clarify, Vito has not finished transforming. He is still gaining mass, and the shape is refining itself.
Above in the rafters, we have the ticks, which are falling from the sky. How is the mass of flesh positioned in relation to where Vito is? Is it surrounding him?
It is actually a mass that is up in the rafters towards where the pipes are broken, and it looks like they've been collecting body parts from throughout the chantry and are depositing and knitting it into the veiny substance that's kind of come through those pipes. So they've just been kind of like being little worker ants. Vito is down below, so he's down below, they're way up above.
Vito is down below, and he is in the throes of transformation.
Yes.
Can I see his head?
Yes, you can.
Well, Johnny came here to do something, and I think he's going to try and do it. So, I think he's going to leaps and bounds to try and land on Vito's shoulders or land on his back rather, and take his head with a chainsaw.
I'm going to say that is a very short jump for you. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a long jump, but it's a very short jump for you. So no need to roll for that. However, it is a split action, and you may make your melee attack roll at half dice pool.
Sounds very fair to me.
+2 difficulty, because you are aiming for the head.
So that leaves me with 7 dice, looking for 8s. With his powerful arms, Johnny scores 4 successes to hit.
3 will carry over into damage.
I will spend a further point of blood to gain 5 automatic successes from potence. 5 successes on the dice, plus 5 automatic successes means a total of 10 aggravated damage from the chainsaw.
It has 5 successes to soak, so it will take 5 levels of aggravated damage. As the chainsaw tears into his flesh, you are mortified to see that it is not blood that sprays from him, but a black, sizzling acid that splashes up at you.
Hold. There's 2 things I would like to do, actually, but they're Week of Nightmares things, so if I could go over them.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Because you still fucking have yours.
It's a week, I said.
I spent mine like candy.
Well, I have 3 as of the moment. I think I'm using 2. The first one is, I think that Britta is feeling like, I think she's kind of intensely watching this scene and the danger that Johnny's putting himself in, and wishing that Johnny had every advantage. Wishing that Ira had cast to improve his chainsaw, even if Johnny hates blood magic.
Gross.
Oh, shit.
But, like, she's wishing against what Johnny would want to protect him. And if that's able to reach out through the entire whatever the fuck.
Just like retroactively.
I guess maybe that, like, the way that she's subconsciously imagining that it might have happened, what would have been like Ira kind of cockily figuring that Johnny wouldn't notice if he got it done in the hallway.
Okay, I dig. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So for that, Ira, I want you to go ahead and make a casting roll. We will use that to modify Johnny's dice pool. Johnny, you may roll the additional dice based on what he rolled.
I retroactively spend the blood when Johnny's not looking. 4 additional dice.
Johnny, roll 4 additional dice.
Well, that is
Oh my God.
4 more successes. So that's a total of 9 aggravated damage.
Science! And the chainsaw gets caught on his spine for but a moment before his head is taken from the rest of his body.
Okay.
Do I still get splashed with horrible acid?
You do!
Hey, no.
Wait, what do you mean no?
Well, I mean, it depends on what Lex says, but preferably no. I have more Week of Nightmares, 2 out of 3, so I'd like to spend the second so that it happens that the recoil from the chainsaw pushed Johnny back with the chainsaw out of range. Just, he happened to be pushed in the direction away from the splash. Maybe it's something against knocking against a particular hard bit of spine or bone spur, but he just...
The angle of the chainsaw veers the spatter away.
Johnny's moved away from the acid splash, and Vito's, at least his torso and head, are separated from one another. The head collapses to the ground, landing in a pool of acid, and begins to melt away. Vito is dead.
There's still a big flesh monster.
Yeah, there's still a lot.
This ain't done yet.
Wynn, your go. His body continues to transform.
I'll handle the little things for now.
Well, what does Miles say?
Essentially, get him. Kill that thing.
Well, those are the magic words. I pop blood and pop claws.
Give me an attack roll.
Well, I get 2 successes.
1 carries over into damage as you plunge your claws into its flesh.
Okay.
Do you have a strength spec?
Yes, I do. Rending.
They'll do it.
5. 6. Because I'll spend the blood for...
It will suffer 2 levels of aggravated damage. And then, do you have an additional action that you may sacrifice, whether split dice pool or celerity actions?
I did not think to split my dice pool.
You're automatically hit
Yep.
for 3 levels of aggravated damage.
Can I soak?
Yes, you may. Acid sprays up at you.
I just have extra health levels from Ira, correct?
Correct.
This
Yes.
does not play into this.
Nope. If you get hit, it goes under it hits your flannel first.
She got that up-armored flannel.
I soak 12.
Okay.
12 out of your 14.
12
Pool.
out of my 14.
Jesus.
What?
Yeah, and Wynn...
That's why I sent her in.
Vito has met final death. However, his flesh remains of use. The shape that it is taking starts to become more symmetrical, purposeful, and rows of eyes on a huge monstrous skull start to open, and it has teeth like short swords, this huge gaping maw, a longer neck, a body built out, wings like a bat start to open up and press against the walls of the space that you were fighting it in. It assumes this flesh and bone draconic form. It will use physical actions to diabolize you.
Jesus Christ, Lex.
Let's fucking do this.
Johnny. Bones it.
All around.
Yep.
Air bumps.
Miles,
Air bump. Ira.
it will take its free action to frighten you.
Cool.
I need a willpower roll to resist it.
Iron Will play into this?
Yeah. I'll put it at an increased difficulty to intimidate you because of it. What's that, +3 diff? Counting blood buffs and transformation, it does have a strength rating of 20.
Fuck. Can I spend willpower on this?
You may.
I will.
There is no possible way to convey the tension in this room through the audio.
I mean, there is, but I don't think our listeners would enjoy just extended screaming.
5 successes.
That is 5 to its 11 successes.
11 on 20 dice, man?
What the
No, that's its strength plus intimidation.
Oh, Jesus. I can't even hit that number.
Your next roll against it, whatever that may be, is at a -6 die penalty.
I'm glad it's me.
We're a little quiet in here now. All right. At the end of the round, 2 things happen. The right wing door opens, and a handful of individuals emerge. Britta, you recognize them. Eagle, Tanakh, Phantom, and Shrike enter the space. And you see Shrike look up at the mass of gray forms, and they kind of stop at the doorway, press up to sides of the hallway, like entrance to the space as like kind of like cover, and they start shooting up at it. Then we get to Miles. Celerity actions, please.
I will do a reaction reload. Did one of the things drop?
Yes, 1 drop down.
Okay. I will perform an action to reload and take a shot at it.
Sounds good.
I can reload as part of a normal action without splitting it. Reload is successful.
You guys see Miles start making quick work with the gun, and becomes a very organized fighter.
4 to hit.
3 will carry over into damage.
3 damage.
3 damage is enough to cause it to burst.
Quick stitch of the rifle. Put that one down.
Okay, we will then go to Britta.
I have this glove that is meant to give a negative effect to the first bruja I touch. Vito is dead. Is that still a bruja?
You have no idea.
So any time to find out, it's now. It was like...
Well, I think that is the thought, because I think that there is this beast of literal mythical proportions standing in the flesh that Vito once wore, and the trauma of what Britta has gone through has broken her down in ways that she hasn't remembered ever feeling. And with everything that just occurred between every aspect of Vito's grossness and the literal psychic assault, I think Britta is collecting her bravery to run out. And where is Johnny? Just to avoid him, where is he located on the dragon? Or did he fall off the dragon?
He is up on its shoulder.
Okay. Where is the closest point of the dragon to me? Or a location I might be able to jump to and jump back, such as a wing point, if I could theoretically do that.
Its reach encompasses the room.
Okay. If it would be possible to try to jump onto a point of it, to touch it, and then jump back to a higher place, I'd like to.
That would be taking 3 actions. You're gonna, which you cannot do with celerity.
Yep.
You can either leap onto it.
Yep.
You can attempt to go over and touch it and stand before it. Essentially one of those.
Well, I'm definitely not trying to face the front of it, and I'm trying to stay away from where Johnny is out of pure psychotic caution. So if I can reach out enough to touch it.
We'll say this happens now. Choose someone in the room that Reese casts a spell on.
That's all I get information-wise?
That's all you get.
I guess I'm the appropriate guinea pig here.
You? Okay. He hits you with a power called Wind Dance. Here's what it does.
That was a real 50-50. People are making happy noises.
He's helping you.
It's a boon.
You get your full dodge dice pulled against all incoming attacks.
Fuck. What does this feel like?
You feel impossibly light on your feet. Everything around you seems to move a little slower. Mm-hmm. You have a sense of the direction everything is moving all at once. It's like you're very much in tune with the flow of air in the room.
And do I get the sense that Reese has done this and that I have chosen that?
Yes.
So, a little hesitantly, Britta selects herself as a guinea pig, unsure of what Reese exactly intends to do. And she feels that power fuel her. And it's almost as if the willpower that was stripped from her gives her a lightness she never had before with that upgrade. And she'll dart over to try to touch the glove. I imagine the bones beneath the leathery skin of the wing. Seems like the thing that might be the closest.
Give me a Dex plus Brawl.
Difficulty?
6. Oh, sorry, 5. He's easy to hit.
Does graceful apply?
Sure.
5 successes?
When you make contact, something horrible happens, and a second spell is fired from the amulet. Rob.
I have thumb side up. What magic? What's going on here?
Eden has been targeted with a spell.
Eden has been targeted with a spell.
The spell is Chill of the Wind Saber.
Oh. I told you motherfuckers that Tremere fucking piggyback bullshit on their magic.
Hold on. I have questions. I have thumb side ups. Am I the only one who is aware this is happening?
No one else is going to be aware until it happens.
So, my first... Let me think this out real fast. Sorry.
Doesn't have to be real fast.
I'm aware that this is happening. Chill of the Wind Saber is an elder level ritual, right?
Indeed it is.
The amulet itself is not an elder level ritual.
Correct.
Eden is going to be decapitated immediately.
Indeed.
And no one can do anything about it.
She is unlikely to be able to resist his will.
Ira is extremely loyal to the Tremere. Still very not cool with this Salubri girl, Davenport. But Ira is, sometimes to his detriment, a fundamentally good person. And so I think what he does in this moment is he blows up his own fucking spot with Reese and reacts without thinking. And Lex, I would like to use the forbidden discipline of counter-thaumaturgy to destroy the amulet.
All right, get it, Aster.
Which would stop his line of sight, correct?
Sure would. It would stop the spell from happening.
Okay. Ira absolutely is acting without thinking here, and he's going to have some fucking... Like, if we survive this, I'm so fucked. I am going to spend a willpower on this.
Okay. No pressure, Rob, but you're looking for 4 successes.
Because I have perfect clarity up, that lowers my difficulty, so I have 6 successes.
Including the willpower?
7 successes.
With 7 successes, You snuff the magic of the amulet out and save Eden's life.
I mean, we're in the middle of a dragon fight with the TMR and all sorts of shit, but if anyone looks at Ira's face or sees him as he just throws a hand out towards Britta faster than thought, and then he has an immediate look on his face of like, oh shit, what did I just do? Oh no.
Well, it depends. Does anything happen to the amulet that I know of? Because I would look at Ira if there's something wrong with the Tremere fuckery.
He very dramatically gestures to the amulet, and that's all that seems to happen.
Okay.
Wynn, the motion of the lightning rod over there, looks up, but she sees his face.
He looks horrified at what he just did. Like he just acted and doesn't know why he just did what he did.
She's filing a lot of things away for later. This is one of them. But there is a fucking dragon in the room, and Ira did something. It's not apparent that it was something bad, so we're just going to move forward from here.
Yeah, I mean, he turns his attention back to the dragon and all the fucking problems pretty quick, but in the middle of all this shit, he definitely just had an existential crisis.
Yep.
In addition to this, its body begins to twitch and wriggle and writhe uncontrollably as it is afflicted with seizures.
Okay, so question. So seizures usually involve falling down.
It does not fall down.
Okay, good, because
It is not a grand mal.
Okay, well, no,
It just begins to
I'm
spasm.
concerned because when I last checked, I am on the ground next to it. So if a dragon gonna fall on me, I want to soak it.
It's not quite that kind of seizure.
So that is Britta. Johnny, what do you got?
So, from the last time I had an action, mere moments ago, I decapitated Vito, and then suddenly the dead flesh remaining exploded with growth and has become a dragon beneath my feet, and wings have sprouted on either side of me.
Yes, things have gotten awkward.
It escalated quickly.
Well, Johnny would rather fight a crocodile, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take one of the wings off with the chainsaw.
All right. It's got these horrific flesh-toned scales, bone spurs sprouting from its neck, a mane of fingers.
I'm making this worse for myself, but I imagine some of the scales are actually like faces.
Yeah, it's like...
That's some Kingdom Death bullshit.
Oh, it's got hand parasites. Gotcha.
Well, I mean, it's made its body out of people,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really see a reason to hide that. Johnny, this tackles a difficulty 5.
Do I have its back, technically?
Yes, you do. You
That's
have
extra die?
a 2-die bonus. You are aiming for a wing, so it's another +2 diff. So you will go to diff 7.
Perfect. 4 successes to chop into a wing.
3 will roll over into damage. Targeting the wing will avoid the levels of armor that it possesses due to the scales.
Come on, buddy.
7 levels of aggravated damage on the dice, plus 5 more from potence, is 12 levels of aggravated damage to the wing.
You grind up the wing and it falls limp on its shoulder, and it looks towards you angrily.
I imagine we have some acid to dodge.
Indeed you do. You may burn a remaining action, or you may roll soak.
So here's the question. How much acid comes at me?
Well, it's not just acid.
It's like fire.
It also bleeds fire at you. So it's acid and fire coming at you.
Is it proportional to the damage dealt?
So one of these you get to dodge, which is the acid. The acid is it's a bit of ag, some damage. The fire is going to be terrible.
But I could skip them both by spending an action?
You can skip the acid.
Okay, so I'm taking the fire regardless.
Yep.
Fuck it. Let's just go through acid and fire then. I'm gonna save my other action to cut off the other wing.
So these are separate soak rolls.
Correct.
1 egg for acid. Damn. All right. Take no damage from that.
Unnecessary amounts of successes.
Maybe you could use that on the next roll.
The other one is 4 levels of aggravated damage because of the heat of the fire. This is a diff 9 soak.
Can I just use the one that I just had?
I'm afraid not.
Can I spend a willpower on this?
You may not spend willpower to soak.
Okay, just curious.
No problem.
What happens if I'm tough as nails? Can I stand through fire?
Yeah, I'll let that count as 2s for your fortitude soak roll.
4 successes to soak.
You eat that fire and hold your ground.
Johnny uses it to
Johnny's
light a Morley.
That last Morley fucking lights up. I got a dragon to kill.
Johnny is now drenched in acid and dragon's blood and is on fire. Your armor is gone.
Understood?
And why don't you roll me a die for that chainsaw?
Ira, get out of the way.
9.
All right. You avoid letting the chainsaw get splashed by the acid/fire.
Question. More of a meta question. If I shoot the things up there, will I prevent more of them from coming down this next round?
Yes, they will roll into future D10 rolls. There are individuals who are helping you do that. Okay. You are currently receiving aid, incidentally, from both Shrike and Eagle,
okay,
who are also, one is firing a grenade launcher up into them that it bursts with fire, and another one is firing a fully automatic assault rifle.
Fire to the rain.
And a little oddly, the blonde one has a matching trench coat, right?
Yes.
To Britta.
The other one, the one that is
also
currently firing a grenade launcher, has blonde hair that's slicked back right now, a pair of sunglasses to protect himself from the waves of fire being generated by his grenade launcher, and is wearing a black trench coat. He looks like he's having a great time.
If I end up catching his eye during this part, I give him a nod, and
he gives you a nod. This aid is going to come in the form of an additional 8 dice to your attack rolls to them.
So it sounds still need to shoot it. Got it. So 7, 8.
Okay.
So I'll make 1 damage roll again.
The grenade launcher effectively just kills what it hits, so there's no reason to roll damage for it.
That'll be 3 successes.
Okay. Now, since we're here, we may as well get out of the way. Why don't you roll me how many of them will be dropping to the ground on round 2? This is going to be 2d10.
13.
Okay. So far, only 5 of them will be dropping to the ground.
How many clips did I manage to get before I have to beg for Britta's gun?
You got 1 left.
That's what I figured.
When Miles told me to get in and wreck shit, can I have handed him my dad's gun?
I have another pistol.
That doesn't change my question.
Okay.
I am totally fine with you just chucking your gun over your shoulder towards Miles while you're on your way to go fight.
Oh, no, I take it and I press it over.
Yeah. Oh, throw it over your shoulder. Do it. Throw it over your shoulder.
I grab it and quickly stow it in my waistband, much the similar as you do.
All right, that is Miles. Johnny, celerity action 2.
Britta.
Oh, sorry, Britta, celerity action 2. You didn't burn yours.
Yeah. I'd like to back up, and Britta will try to shoot in a similar location to where Johnny shot before, learning from him that might help bypass that scaly armor on the other side.
Go ahead and give me a roll.
Basically, get the other wing started. The gravity of the situation has her shaking, but she points her gun. It's a single success. 3 successes.
The rounds start tearing into its wing. Johnny.
We'll finish the job Britta started. He spins around, using the gripping fingers on its back to give his feet purchase. Ugh. He torques in spot and chops at the other wing. 8 successes to hit.
Okay, with 8 successes, 7 will carry over into damage.
Okay, so 6 strength, 4 from the chainsaw, 7 carrying over, an additional 4 from the magic.
That's like my full auto roll.
You want me to hold your box?
We are actually hitting the point where Garrett cannot hold more dice.
I see 5 zeros.
Oh my god.
This is like my soak roll.
Plus 5. 19 levels of aggravated damage.
Fuck.
How's it looking?
It howls in pain with a sound that shakes the chantry, but also acid and fire. Wash on acid damage.
He's getting good at dodging it.
3 ag coming from the fire. Diff 9, it is difficulty 9 to soak.
I only soak a single point of the fire, so I will take 2 levels of aggravated damage from the fire.
It takes an extra action at the end of the round. Wynn, it ferociously attempts to bite you in half. It has 6 successes to hit.
8.
That is versus 12 levels of aggravated damage.
Remember, those 4 go
Yep.
to the shirt first.
So Wynn still has all her health levels. +1.
Does she take damage like a superhero? Her shirt just gets torn?
Yep. But it's very aesthetic around her muscles. So Wynn's eyes, she still has protean eyes up, and she sees this massive mouth coming at her. And she just throws her arms in front of her face and around her torso, whatever parts she can reach, her fingers extended so her claws provide extra cover. And she feels the teeth skip around the hardness of her skin and bones as one power of change versus another power of change meet and almost bounce off one another. As the mouth pulls back just a little, Wynn just kind of looks at the dragon, and maybe only Ira can understand when she says, "Me silerte quam moriar." Let me rage before I die.
As you finish saying those words, it gulps and swallows you into it. Ira, round 2.
She's on the inside, huh?
She sure is.
I cannot see her anymore.
Adjust Johnny's initiative down 3 points, please.
So, reflexively at the start of his turn, Ira is going to spend some blood and look over at the seneschal, who is covered in fire and acid and screaming dragon bits with a chainsaw. Seneschal, the sheriff's inside. Don't get distracted now. You've got this. And I'm going to use centering, because apparently this is a reality where I'm okay with quietly doing some buffs. For the next 6 rounds, you may not ever take dice penalties. Nothing will give you any penalties to dice. You're totally immune to that. Difficulty penalties, yes. Dice penalties, no. And you are at a +2 against all forms of frenzy.
That's probably a good thing.
As Ira says that, you don't, like, narrow your focus. You just get that, like, centered calm of, like, time to get the job done.
You're in your element.
You're in the zone. It's literally like, yes, I'm in the zone now. So that's reflexive. Then I will also, like, spend for dual thought. And then because he's getting covered in fucking fire and shit, I'm already here. You have the remnants of, like, armor. Eden's got your jacket, right?
Yeah.
But, like, you got the remnants of armor and stuff on.
Yep.
So I will harden that.
He has burning strips of cloth. He's largely bare-chested at this point.
If he's largely bare-chested, this might not actually work. He's still got pants, right?
He's still got pants.
All right. Those
For
pants
now.
are in contact with the dragon.
Can't
so
burn Levi's.
I'm going to harden those Levi's.
Giggity.
I know what I said.
I appreciate it.
Garrett, your Levi's gain 5 levels of health. And then for my second action, on top of that, Lex, I have a question. I have thumb side up, and Reese had said that influence had started coming through the circle at the node, right?
Yes.
I've thumb side up. Is that still happening? Is there, like, energy leaking through the node into the chantry?
Yeah.
If we destroy the node, which is something that they don't generally want to do, will that stop that leak of will that help to slow or stop that leak of energy? Or do I have no fucking idea?
I mean, you definitely get the impression that this thing is drawing energy from the node and is much more active and aware and capable of doing things because of that. In the past, even talking to this coterie, all of their past stories about this thing is nothing like this. Vito drew it here. This node is allowing it to behave in very new ways, and it's becoming exponentially worse.
A node is not something I can destroy. Like, that's not something you can get rid of. That's just a natural byproduct of ley lines and stuff, right?
Yeah, it would take a lot of effort to do that.
But I guess what I'm asking is, do I have reason to believe that destroying the ritual circle there, or at least fucking it up, would cut off that flood of energy from the node?
The flow of energy would probably become significantly less refined, because the point of that is to help with like high ritual performances and channel the energy of the node into purpose. Right now, that purpose is a giant horrible monster that's like
And the other thing that
standing in a pool of water.
Yes, I've seen.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm aware of the water. I don't want to fuck around though, because Johnny's riding it. And Wynn's inside of it.
Baby. Let's do this.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. But the first thing I'm going to do is it's the inlays and shit that focus everything. Correct. I am going to look at one of the rings, and because it's in water, it's actually going to help a lot here because it's splashing around. I'm going to liquefy the metal rings with the path of transmutation.
Sounds good.
And because I really need this to work well, I'm going to spend a willpower. 7 successes, and 5 successes is enough to melt a freight train car, or a train freight car, so.
You easily accomplish this.
And I'm hoping with the water splashing around that it will just obliterate this circle.
I mean, the sheer weight of it, and you liquefying the form, it's done.
And hopefully that starts to cut stuff off a little bit.
After Ira goes, it goes. Miles, that's a psychic assault for you.
This is gonna suck. Iron will apply.
Yes, it does.
Assume 10s don't count for 2.
4 successes.
5 successes.
You resist.
The power of Miles's ego is too much for this dragon.
There's not enough room in this giant chamber for my ego.
You might be a dragon, but you're just a dragon.
Question. I hate to ask it.
Yeah, what's up?
Does intimidation count? Do I have -6 dice on this roll?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, sorry, buddy.
I thought he was just for one action.
My next action against it.
Yes.
That's wash.
Okay. Miles, you will lose all temporary willpower points.
Yep.
And half of your permanent willpower.
Yep.
In addition to this, you will suffer 3 levels of lethal damage, which you may roll soak against.
Welcome to the terrible club.
Just gonna roll.
No more words, just emotions.
Yeah, I soak it. Like 7, 8.
Okay. Miles, what you doing?
I reload shouting, last clip! Quick roll. Get at least 1 success. Reload is good. Question. With multiple people helping me, do I need to full auto to hit multiple targets?
Yes.
Damn it. Guess we're doing that. 14 successes.
Give me damage.
4 damage.
That is going to remove that many. So, what was that, 14?
Right. So I have 9 to carry
So
over.
9
next.
into the next round.
Yep.
The group that is with at the right wing, a few things happen. 1, the man in the trench coat pulls 2 magazines from the vest that he's wearing and hurls them to Miles.
Excellent.
2nd, a man with thin lips and a mouth that is far too wide for his face throws his head back and lets out this blood-curdling scream, and this wail reverberates through the underworld. And when he lets out this scream, he manipulates probability, shifting entropy in favor of the group.
And all of his teeth show, right?
And his teeth are rows of shark teeth. Britta, I'm going to let you decide. Among the PCs, up to 3 of you may have a reroll.
Wynn, Johnny, Miles.
Okay. Each of you has a floating reroll that you may use at any point. There is 1 more action that is taken among them. The one who seemed like they weren't actually doing very much for the fighting is this very kind of small woman with some Middle Eastern descent. And some of her skin ashes and flows away from her. Particles just kind of like drift away from her like ashes on the breeze as wounds start to manifest. And as she does, the fire, the mass of these huge gray tick-like hunks of flesh and bone, this monster that you are confronted with by, and even the water that flows from the pipes down onto the main ritual circle itself, everything slows to a stop. And in the midst of the fight, the group of you find yourselves paused and outside the flow of time. You guys have a handful of rounds within this space of time. What do you do?
Britta is not going to wait on the flow of time, even if it's paused. Britta will walk up to Eden, extend out a can of mace, and say, "I'm sorry, but can I trade you for that knife?"
She nods, very disoriented by what's going on, and offers you your knife.
Britta is disoriented, nauseous, but she takes the knife and runs as fast as she can over to try and cut Wynn out, or help if she's cutting herself out from the inside.
Why don't you roll me a Dex plus melee? Every success you get, we'll give her a +1 die bonus.
Difficulty?
5.
Does graceful count?
No, this is kind of
Harried.
digging. Yeah.
This has been
That's
brutal.
perfectly fair. It's just always, worth asking. Everything I rolled, except for one singular 4, is a 5 or over, so hang on. 8.
Okay. You will give Wynn 8 extra dice.
Britta's trying to maybe, direct it based on what she's seen of how this acid and fire sprays.
Now, weird thing, as you dig against it, its body is unaffected. For now.
Wynn, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm cutting, so maybe follow this cut.
How much of that can I hear?
All of it inside this creature's eerily silent right now.
Miles looks around as he grabs the 2 clips, goes, "I think time has stopped again."
Johnny cries out for Wynn.
Johnny, I'm going to need a frenzy check.
Yeah, I think so.
You're at a -2 difficulty for being a Bruja, a +2, you're at a +2 difficulty for being a Bruja, -2 difficulty for being centered. Diff 6. I thought that was going to be a 1.
I know, me too. 1 success. Manages to hold himself together.
There is a dim sound that carries oddly in the very still air. And when Wynn's voice just yells, "No heart, go for the head."
Tanakh, how much time?
She looks at you, and more ash wafts away from her flesh. 9 seconds.
Johnny lets out a roar that sounds like he is barely holding back his beast. The chainsaw roars with him, and he begins to try to hack his way through the back of its neck towards whatever is on the inside of this thing. Get her out!
Thank you.
Grenades, ammo, explosives, anything here? Please.
Even behind the sunglasses, because of your heightened senses, you can see that he's rolling his eyes. Yeah, hold on.
Ira is looking at the other group and the frozen time just extremely suspiciously, but starting to put the math together as best as he can. Lex, there are pipes that go up. You said they all confluence into the one area, right? Where the nest is?
Yes.
Taking advantage of, the lull, he looks down at Eden. Look out for a second. And is going to grab one of the nearby pipes, and metal pipes in the wall, and just send tens of thousands of volts up into that nest. And I will dump all of my electricity into it, and then I will put up more, and I will dump all of that back into it.
Give me 14 dice of damage. You may apply it to all of them.
It's touch, so it's 15.
Go for it.
Wow, it's all frozen. Do I get any bonus dice from this being water pipes and stuff?
That is what is going to allow you to apply the damage to all of them.
Sick.
They would normally be able to kind of just move away from the pipes, but they don't have that opportunity.
That is 13 lethal.
Nothing happens to them. Nothing yet. The man with the wide, thin mouth with horrible, sharp fangs for teeth. He draws a silver dagger and presses the tip towards his chest and looks to those who he is accompanied. "I am going to take us out of here." And the woman, who is in the process of slowly ashing, maintaining this effect, looks at him wide-eyed, like him doing that might disrupt what she's trying to accomplish here, and Eagle rests his hand on the shoulder of Phantom, and Phantom, by virtue of having Eagle's making contact with him, rethinks his decision and decides to hold off at least for now. Trike, the individual with the trench coat and sunglasses, pulls his duffel bag off of Eagle's shoulder. And Eagle kind of, he motions. The two seem to work very well together. And he hurls this bag towards the group. It lands with a loud clunk.
Wynn spends a blood to beef her dexterity, taking it to a 7 for the round. And she tries to find where Britta was making, like, where the bullets hit. Like, was there any impact on the inside? She
was digging with a knife.
Okay.
And you can hear where she's coming from pretty well.
And she will dig her claws in, pushing them in as far as she can.
Give me an attack roll. Britta has helped you, so you may enjoy the benefits of her 8 successes as bonus dice. 5 up.
That'll be 10.
9 dice will carry over to damage.
That'll be 13 ag.
So 2.
And when inside the gullet of this monster, she will rage before she dies, but that doesn't mean she wants to die. She needs to die in a way that she will see someone again. Dying to a horrifying dragon older than the bones of the earth to save the people she loves the most, and the child who could save the world might be just enough to do it. But also ripping the throat out of a giant dragon might just get some more gangrel to come to the domain.
Oh, fuck.
And with all she has, kicking her horrifying boots, which are their own toxic monstrosity, and rending the flesh of this beast, she grabs everything that looks vital on her way towards Britta.
Johnny.
So, Dex 6. No wound penalties because of magic. 2 dice because I have its back. 4 dice because of melee. And I have no extra celerity currently.
Yep. Holy shit.
Today's a day.
Mm-hmm.
All those bad rolls saved up for today?
Cashing in his dice rolling karma.
And I'm actually not targeting anything other than the back of its head, so I'm not at penalties, right?
You're just at diff 5.
10 successes to hit.
Okay, 9 will carry over into damage. No ones.
No one.
Bro.
So it's 12 successes plus 5 from potence, so that's 17 aggravated damage.
Okay. Miles, what are you doing?
I will take the bag that is thrown, and I will take it to insert into the dragon's mouth.
Cannot resist you.
And then on my if I get it in there, no problem. On my celerity actions, I will start helping Britta the same thing with katana time.
Okay. You load its throat up with a double
Who
bag.
knows?
It is frozen in the moment. Very abruptly, the man with the eerie smile, the one that took you from your parents, thrusts the knife into his heart. And when he does, him and the rest of his team, save you, vanish. Time continues on, and there is an explosion, blinding lightning, gore galore. Wind bursts from this thing's throat and collarbone, and Johnny fells the beast. I need to roll a lot of aggravated damage.
Lex. It was my intention, because I am thinking extremely fast. I do not know everyone's weights, but to use my actions to yank people mentally away from this fucking thing.
You may choose one person.
How much does Johnny weigh? Does he weigh more than 200 pounds right now?
He most certainly does.
Okay. Then Britta, who is digging with a knife, I will because you're like right fucking there, right?
And Britta's very light, so she can be moved.
I am going to, with my mind, just yank her, probably not gracefully because this is like a panic motion,
Absolutely not.
away from like the fucking gore and fire.
Britta,
Yeah.
you are confronted with a wave of acid and fire, but you are yanked away from it before it makes contact with your flesh.
There is a little scream as Britta isn't sure what grabbed her, but this power's been used on her before, so past the panic, there's a slight sense of familiarity.
The creatures up above sizzle and crackle with being scorched by the lightning, and Wynn and Johnny and Miles are blasted with a wave of this acid. Unless you have a spare action for the run still. Which case you may... Okay. You can make a roll to avoid that. The fire, you cannot. This thing, the flesh, the fungus, its fiery blood is consuming everything, and this room is starting to burn wildly out of control. I will need a courage test from everyone to not enter rot trek if you are affected by such things.
I am immune to rot trek.
And I'm going to be rolling some damage for those who are in the area of the fiery blood.
Johnny, remember you get +2 dice from centering.
Can we spend a willpower?
You may. Britta, what'd you get?
For the courage roll, Britta got 4 successes. She recently lost her cool to fire and built up a bit of bravery from that.
This time you're ready. Miles.
1 success on courage.
You hold on, buddy.
Don't like fire.
Wynn.
4.
You succeed. It is a lot of fire for you.
Mm-hmm.
You are on fire.
I'm aware.
Johnny.
6 successes.
It's just fire to you. Eden does not rush wreck. Now everyone rolls Soak versus Ag at difficulty 9.
Everyone?
Everyone that is being burned by fire. So you and Britta are fine.
4 successes for the fire, so.
Diff 9?
Yep.
6 successes. I want to know what Johnny's.
At the botch, technically.
You have a reroll?
Do have a reroll.
Speak of time for it.
That was a pretty good time for it.
0 successes.
Not a
Let's
botch.
But not a botch.
That's going to be 7 Ag to each of you. You still got the extra health levels on him?
Yes, he has 5 extra health levels on him.
My extra health levels.
How you looking, buddy?
I'm wounded.
Now, those of you who have an extra action may make a Dex plus athletics roll. This will avoid the acid if you succeed.
If swift being counts, I have 4 successes. If not, I have 3 successes.
You avoid it?
I have 6 successes.
Okay. Miles also avoids it. Wynn,
I have to soak. I have no extra actions.
you're good.
Yeah.
The 6 of you are gathered in a circle as more and more of this fire burns like a chemical fire. You're alone, and it's just the 6 of you.
Path of Night is a Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. Britta Ashcroft the Toreador was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Bruja was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Venture was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was composed for Path of Night by Brian Matolius. Find him online at brianmatolius.com. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness are owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We can be found on YouTube at youtube.com/@pathofnight. You can help support the show on coffee.com/pathofnight. Find us on twitter.com/pathofnightpod, on facebook.com/pathofnightpodcasts, or email us at pathofnightpodcasts@gmail.com. See you next time, Kindred.
Remember back when we had trouble with that Sedite in the back of the car?
dude. We
Simpler
still might.
times.
That was 300 experience ago.
Yeah, you guys are a pretty fucking severe squad right now.